Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Bachiru. You have to excuse my sore throat for this video. So, in this video I just want to talk about my experience with the Under Night Celes open beta. We'll just call it for this video Under Night 2 because that's basically how it feels, to be honest. Spoilers, my impressions are like very positive and very glowing. So before we get to that, guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done already. So, let me give you like a very brief history between me and Under Night, like as a game. So when it first released in the arcades, like that was back in like 2000 whatever, I used to watch it like a lot on YouTube, like the footage from the arcade version with like the infinites and the long combos and you know this kind of nonsense. So I was really excited to get my hands on it. And when the PS3 version came out, I think it was called the XE, I grabbed it day one with a bunch of my friends here in Saudi Arabia, and we really loved the game. The problem with anime fighting games back then, since they were all delay based and still we were developing like proper internet connections, we didn't really stick to the game, especially since Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma came out after it. And it just didn't stick as much as I wanted it to be honest. And with a small community, it's very hard to keep playing a game. So the more versions that came out, I think I played Eunice after it. And I really enjoyed it, and I think I made some content and some streams on Eunice, and I was playing Batista in the beginning, then I decided to switch to Altnam. I really loved the game, but there was always that one thing that hindered me from actually committing to the game, which is basically the netcode. In the Middle East, it's really hard to enjoy fighting games, like if you don't have people who play it around your area, and connection with Europe and the USA and Asia without rollback, like on daily basis, it's really horrible. So it's very hard to enjoy the game, especially with the limited amount of people who used to play it like back then. So when Uniclear came out and I saw that it has like delay based netcode, I wasn't really excited, even though that I saw they added more characters and you know they like refreshed the game a bit, but it's still delay based, and we've had like good games with rollback already. So with Uni 2 coming out right now, like with the rollback netcode, I was really excited to jump back into the game. And when I saw like the trailers or whatever, in my mind it's like, oh, it's just Uniclear with a balance patch and a bunch of characters and rollback netcode. And after playing spending like 5 to 6 hours with the open beta, I can safely say that this feels like a proper sequel, you know, to Under Night, to the previous versions that I played. So first things first, the game has rollback netcode, and the implementation here is great. I played it on the PlayStation. It's not really my preferred way to play fighting games anymore, but that's the only choice we had, and my experience was very positive. I've had some very smooth connections, especially like at 1 bar and 2 bar, which is usually are dodgy. It felt really smooth, and I really enjoyed the fact that you can actually set like the input delay. And I've had some choppy matches, but most of the time, like I'd say around 90%, it was really smooth, and that's something that I really liked. To be honest, I was a bit skeptical because when Type Lumina came out, it felt a bit choppy, and the rollback execution for me was not really that great. So it really left a sour taste in my mouth when the game first came out. So for me to see like French Bread implementing like a really solid rollback netcode in this open beta, it gives me a very good impression, and it makes me more excited to play the game, to be honest. The second thing, let's talk about like what changed from last time I visited Under Night. I'm playing some old music in here because I bought Uniclear, you know, just to practice until Under Night 2 comes out. First of all, the music was redone, the user interface was redone, new character portraits, and new menus, and new this, and a new that. And we have new versions of the music, and most of the new soundtracks are really amazing, to be honest. I've listened to Altnams and Linnes and Merkava, and they all sound like really good. I've always enjoyed Raito's music, and to see him actually like refreshing the music for this one, it was really good. What I was not really expecting that they would actually record record the voice lines, because they've had the voice lines already. So they've actually went back and recorded some of the voice lines. I think because they're old now, so I think that's why they decided just to re-record them. I'm not sure graphics-wise because I wasn't really focusing about it, but I guess it's still the same resolution. I really don't care about this kind of thing. For me, it's art style and character and passion what I care about, not raw graphics and fidelity. So, and for me, I really appreciate 2D sprite fighting games. So for me, from that perspective, it's really well done. Some of the character art was a bit sus for me, like Eltnam's. I didn't really like it, but that's a very minor nitpick. Yani. When it comes to gameplay, I'm gonna tell you straightforward. I'm not like the authority to talk about like the balance and nuanced mechanics and like what changed from this version to that version, because I haven't been with the game for a while. What I can tell you is like, for someone who was a Under Night enjoyer and jumping back into this one, I can tell yani, this new version really yani, they've added some extra mechanics. Like I think now there's like a roll mechanic and there's like a mechanic that gives you all the grid below. So they've updated some of the system mechanics, and from what I felt like most of the things that I used to do with Eltnam before, they still worked, and she had like some newer combos. So I can't really talk about the balance. I can talk about the game and my impression of it, especially anime fighting games. So this game really respects you as a player. So what does that mean? Like the depth and the intricacies of the system mechanics and the way that you have to structure your offense, your defense, and your knowledge and your execution, they're really rewarded in this game. And it feels like when I won or when I lost a match, I felt like I knew what I was doing right and I knew what I was doing wrong. And for me, this is something that I really appreciate about this game. It's a game that's coming out like in 2024, and it's not afraid to oversimplify and stick to its roots and keep things, let's call it complex, for the better or for the worse. And it's not a game that's trying to like attract all different audiences, Guilty Gear Strive, So for me, I'm really happy that there's a game coming out that still exists with that kind of mentality. And I feel like this game really, really respects the time and effort that you put into it. Your hard work will be rewarded, from what I feel so far. So you have like simple combos that do moderate damage, but if you spend time and you learn like the complex one, they really reward you in positioning, in Uki, in damage. That feels really nice. Also, knowledge about the system mechanics and how you can utilize them and how you can keep your eye like on your, like, let's call it like super meter. Then you have the grid gauge and and the different mechanics that you have. It really feels rewarding. And usually, like recent fighting games, they have been really focused on like being super offensive, like a lot of offensive options, like a huge damage, and matches like rolling by really fast. And for me, I really respect the fact that this game actually rewards you for good defense, and it gives you actually good defensive mechanics. Like of course you can block normally, but you also have like a barrier gauge that you can use like on expensive, like your grid gauge. You can do like now a dodge roll. So this game really allows you like not only like to work on having like a solid offense, but it also rewards you like for having like a very solid defense. I like a game that appreciates you for working hard, and that's my impression from Under Night 2. The other thing is like the game is so cool. How can I say this? Like the art style, the way that the characters move, the combo structure, like the menus and the transitions. This is like a really cool game. It feels like, I don't know, it has style and it has heart, and you can tell that the people who made this game, they really care about it, and they've made it like with really love and attention. And for me, I don't like all fighting games, they do this, but for this game, you can feel like it's like a real labor of love that been like work in progress for like a very long time, and it's just building up on like unbalanced patches and on mechanics and on characters, and it feels like it's a game that is maturing, and it's growing. And for me, that feeling, like it feels really nice to play this game. I don't know how to explain it. I'll try my best. Number one, the movement. The movement in this game is really smooth. You feel like you're in control of your character. The way like walk speed, dash speed, the jumps, like the responsiveness and how you move, and the way that you can use actually just like barrier blocking while you're moving. Movement in this game feels really nice and really smooth. Maybe if you've played Type Lumina and you never really played the all like other Under Nights, that game felt a bit like there was like a pause and start, and it was an intentional design. But for this game, it's like really smooth. It's not Blaze Blue smooth, but it's smooth. Number two, the execution and the combo structures in this game. Combos are really cool in this game, and combos are long, and that's for me something that I really like and appreciate. So you have like your ABC attack buttons, then you have like a button to charge your grid, and you can block with it and etc. And you can like air dash with it. It's not like a real air dash, but you can actually like string those buttons differently. So you can do like A, B, C. You can do like C, A, B. So the way that you structure your combos, the way that you structure your like your block strings, the way that you can use like a heavy button, then you can cancel it into a light button, into a special, that felt really nice. I focus on Altnam in this open beta, and I really enjoyed that she can actually like some of her special moves, they cancel into like normal attacks. I'm not sure that that's a thing common across all characters, but I can do like this dash that she can use like to do like a to kick like the opponent like really high in the like in the sky, then you can shoot with the gun. Cancels. I know I'm not the undernet expert, yani, but I'm trying my best here. But instead of canceling like to a special, you can cancel it to a special. You can cancel it to a jump. You can cancel it to and like to a like a normal button, you know. And for me, come on, this is amazing. Like most recent fighting games, you can do like A, B, C, D, punch, kick. You know, it's really linear. And for this game, it doesn't feel linear. The way that you handle execution, the way that you handle block strings. So for me, that feels really nice. The other thing, I really like that this game is more focused on the ground game. I love BlazBlue's movement system and how you can like fly in the sky, but it's nice to have a game that has like all this execution and like long combos, etc. And it still tries to focus on a more grounded game. Of course, you can jump and you can do like the assault dash in this game, but I feel like this is just like based on reads and just to control neutral and those things. But it's not like the core game mechanic where you have to spend like 90% of your time in the air. This game is more focused like on grounded, like neutral gameplay and grounded offense and pressure. So because like all your jumping stuff like and the dashes, they have like cues. And there are some exceptions. I noticed like a character like Phonon, which I'm really interested to try as well. I felt like she can jump, like and do an instant button, then she can cancel it with the grid activation, and she can continue like her pressure. So she has like something like a 50-50, like she can go either like high or low. For me, I really like this approach to the game. Yani. The third thing is like the characters themselves. They're unique. They feel distinct from each other, and they feel like they all belong to this like world that they're setting up in this game, and all of the characters feel cool. Yani. You'd assume like some characters like they look boring. Like a character like Lena, she seems like bland in her design, but she has like a huge knife and a short knife, and her combo structure, even the height that protagonist, yani, his moves and his cancels, and like how he animates, it's all cool. I don't know. I really love a game with character, and I really love game like with a heart, like with dedication. It's not a game like that's not afraid like to do something that makes it unique, or it's like way too anime. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, yani, but I really appreciate that about the game. And finally, like the netcode, the game felt really smooth. I really enjoyed my time with the game. Matches were really great. 80 to 90% of the time, I was having like really great matches. Playing with other people like from Europe, the Middle East, it felt like super smooth. I played some with some in the US, some in Japan, and they were a bit playable, but I'd say these were like my choppiest matches. But overall, the rollback implementation is amazing, and that's something that I really like and I really endorse, and I'm happy to see that it will come in the final release. There is one thing, to be honest, if I want to nitpick, and it's like the online mods themselves. It's basically set in stone now. You can see it in the menu. So basically, you have like rank match, casual match, and like player matches where you can like open a room for 8 people and you can just play. In the open beta, it was only the casual match where you can like match up with people quickly and just play. I really hope that they will include like a lobby system in the game where you can like jump into any lobby and just play with other players and just discover players instead of like queuing in menus or queuing in training mode. Any game that implements this, it gives you more chance actually to find people to play with, to be honest, because waiting in the room sometimes it can get boring. Not everyone wants to play rank matches, so it's really nice to have this kind of feature. Like, you don't need to go as far as like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus and make it like super duper like elaborate and minigames and etc. And you don't need to go the far extreme like Guilty Gear 7 and make it like a pain. Do something like Baby Tyke, you know? just like open arcades, have like rooms for 64 people to enter and just play. In a recent live stream also, I was really hoping that we get crossplay, but I really appreciate like the developers' honest response. They said like crossplay is expensive and it's part of development and it really costs them a lot of money, and it seems that they need to pay Sony and they need to pay like they have to pay like a lot of fees just to enable crossplay. So for them not to be able to do it, it's something that's actually understandable, but I was really hoping that we can actually get this eventually. But if there is one thing that I want, it's basically just that's it. Yeah, just give us like some lobbies so we can discover like new people to play with and just have a place where we can actually match up with the new players. So that's it basically. That's my overall impression for Under Night 2. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's like what I've been waiting for a very long time to play. To be honest, I'm bored of the current like fighting games that are on the market. Like I didn't click with Street Fighter. I didn't click with Mortal Kombat 1. And to be honest, Guilty Gear Strive like got boring really quick. And I feel like they're not really handling it in the best way possible. So for a game to go back to the anime roots, which is in its own spin and its own way, that gets me really excited. And to have it running on a rollback netcode with fresh characters and fresh system mechanics and new balance patches, it gives me really hope for this series, to be honest. And I really hope that more people will pick up Under Night, because I feel like it's a very highly underrated gem, and for me, I'm really excited to get back to it. I really commend like Crunch Bread. They really stuck with this game, and they've really like matured it, and I feel like it's time for it to shine. So, alright guys, thank you so much for watching as usual. I'll be making some Under Night content when it comes out. I'm balancing it like with my life schedule. But yeah guys, that's it. If you enjoyed the content, you know what to do. Leave a comment if you want to have like a specific kind of content for Under Night. And I'll catch you in the next video. Yalla, peace.